The Rock and Roll and Coffee Show is brought to you by Retroactive, located at Broadway at the Beach in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, taking you back to the 70s, 80s, and 90s. ShopRetroactive.com. Pick up your bottle of the Rock and Roll and Coffee Show Hot Rockin' Hot Sauce now at Retroactive or rnrcoffeeshow.com.
It's the Rock and Roll and Coffee Show. Yeah, with Joe.
All right, Mark. Well, congratulations on the new record. This is your fourth, correct, with the Unsung Heroes?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I think it
five.
is
I
the
wanna
actual fourth with the Unsung Heroes title. Yeah. I kind of put them all under the umbrella of the Unsung Heroes. There's a couple solo ones that are just Mark Knight, but you're right. I think it's the fourth one, actually.
Yeah, and this is actually I think the fourth time you've been on this show, the Rock and Roll
Wow.
Coffee Show. I think you have the record. Yes.
How cool. Yeah, I went to like change my shirt to get on the program, and I pulled up your shirt. I'm like, well, I can't really wear his shirt his show, but anyways.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah. So again, another great record. I love the record. Six Times the Charm. Tell me about that title. I mean, where'd you get that from?
I actually took that from my daughter who has passed. She had written a bunch of songs and left them on my phone, and one of the songs was six times a charm, and I thought that was kind of appropriate for the record.
Yeah, and you used her painting of you guys, right, for the cover?
Yeah, she had given that to me years ago, a couple of years back. I think it was 2020 as a birthday gift, and it's been on my wall. And I looked at that, I'm like, yeah, that like kind of suits the record. So we used it. Yeah, I used it. Yeah.
So going into this record, how many songs did you have going into this record?
I think I just recorded all the songs that I had. There was no like ones that didn't make the record. It was a batch of songs that I had written that were the record. I didn't do like two or three or four extra ones. They were just all there. That's a good question, actually, because normally, you write like an extra 5 or 6 songs in a process, but these are all just straight up. That was it. Like I emptied the barrel of the songs I'd written and put them all out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're all great songs. And, one thing I like about your music is every time I listen to it, I like it more and more. Like it keeps getting better every time I listen to it. And that happens to me with all your records.
Nice.
You get a lot of emotion in your songs. You get that out with the music. Do you feel that your music writing has grown throughout the years?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've crafted my trade a little bit, I would say. I've learned how to like put songs together. I've created my own style, I think, and I've learned how to like, wordscape better with lyrics, and you write enough songs, you're just going to get better at it, I think, and I just keep doing it. And I look back on my earlier stuff and I'm like, it was developing. I could tell, like, especially lyrically, I've like evolved, I think. And I think that's what comes with time, of just continually to write and learn how to like put songs together. So yeah, I think it's gotten better, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, a lot of the songs that you write are from your personal experiences, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. I write about, a lot about my own stuff, a lot about other people's stuff, a lot about just scenarios and people I view in my life that I go through life with, and see certain characters and what they're dealing with. And it's not all like, one-sided. I don't only write about me, but like there's kind of a mix of all kinds of things I write about, but mainly Mainly, yeah, I do. I do reflect about stuff I'm going through, or just yeah.
Is that hard to get some of that stuff out sometime, or does it come naturally when you're writing music?
I think it comes naturally, actually. It's kind of like, when the floodgates are open and the songs are coming, it just kind of flows out of me, and it's kind of like a high, you get on a couple lines and you start like, coming up with a concept for a song, and it just kind of rolls out of me, like it just happens. Other times it doesn't, like you've heard of writer's block and stuff like that. But I think the songs are all out there, you just kind of grab them when they come. You kind of just, it's almost like daydreaming the way I write. Like I'll just like ad lib some verse or two, and it'll hit me. Oh, the subject will come to me, and then once I got the subject, then I'll build it and create the story or whatever it is.
Hmm. And do you write your lyrics first usually, or do you have the music and then you put the melody to it and then write the lyrics? How do you do that?
I kind of like come up with a basic like acoustic guitar progression, um, and then once I get something that I feel is like kind of melodic guitar wise, then I'll start bouncing ideas around, or like vocals around that. So it's not like I sit down and write a song lyrically and then put it to the music. It's usually like the music kind of comes first. I need something like I need like a springboard to write off of. It's usually like some kind of melodic guitar progression I write, and that's where it starts.
Okay. Is that how your writing style has always been?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have your band is set up, the Unsung Heroes. You have the members of your band. I don't think you had everybody last time, correct?
I've always had the unsung heroes together in some sense. Like you're talking about Lonesome Songs, the last record I did.
Yeah, you didn't have the same lineup at that,
No, no, at that time,
except Tig.
it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of been, it's kind of changes around a lot. But these guys are solid. I've been, Tig Kettler, my drummer, he's been with me since Bang Tango days. He's always kind of been there. But I got Damian Valentine and Chuck C, who's the guitar player, to kind of fill up the band and make it like a solid four-piece band. And we've been together a couple of years now. And they actually they played on the record, which is normally I get like Adam Hamilton, my producer, and people around. He plays, and Wayne Lothian and different outside guys to play on the record, except for Tig. He's done the last two or three, but this time these guys played on two or three songs.
And was that different for you having these guys, actual band members, record on the record?
Well, I kind of I have a formula that I use. Basically, I do all the guitars and vocals at my house, and then we take them to Adam studio. Adam Hamilton, he produces the band, engineers. He'll Sometimes he plays drums, but mostly we bring in Tig. And this time we brought in Damien and Chuck, the guys in the Unsung Heroes, to play on a couple tracks. So it was different, but it was cool. It was nice to get everybody like kind of involved. It wasn't so like, yeah, I'm gonna go do my record and we'll hit it live together. It was nice to bring them in, and it became kind of a real family vibe. And I just wanted them to all be part of it this time.
Yeah, that's good. Now you
Yeah.
still brought in a couple guys though, like Brian Forsythe played lead on Yamaha. What? How do you pronounce that?
Yaamava.
What did I say it again?
Yaamava. Yamaha.
Yamava.
Yeah.
Yamava.
Yeah, yeah. Brian, I just want to bring in Brian. He's just such a great player, and um, I figured it'd be neat just to bring another guitar player in and just kind of showcase a little special guest. And he was like, really excited to do it. And you know, I picked the perfect song for him to do, and we sent it out to him in Nashville, and he came back and just he ripped it. It's great, great solo. Yeah.
Mhm. Have you been friends with him for a while? You guys been
Yeah,
friends?
like I know Brian from basically from Rhino Bucket, because he plays in Rhino Bucket, and he'd have kicks shows, and Rhino Bucket asked me to sub for him. So I'd do like when Brian had shows with Kicks, I'd pull in and play for Rhino Bucket, and we did, I don't know, did like a half dozen shows, and we kind of met through that, and we jammed a little bit, and I just always like loved his playing. I love Kicks. I used to see him when I was a kid, and got to know Brian, and the fact I even subbed for him, I was like honored. And then I asked him, I'm like, hey, you want to play on my record? He's like, yeah, hell yeah, that's that. He was like so cool about it. He was just like, is so thankful and appreciative. And I'm like, thank you, man. Yeah. So that was just a neat thing. It was just like, why not? Let's bring him in, see if he wants to do it. And he was all about it. So that's how it went down.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun to
Yeah.
do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Talk about a little bit about Adam because Adam's been with you for the last few records.
Yeah.
How important is he to your sound? Because you get a nice warm sound on your recordings.
Adam's really like been my right hand man, to be honest with you. Like he came in on Days of a Dreamer record, and basically my drummer at the time had found him to do some recording in a drum room. Then me and Adam hit it off. He ended up helping with that one, and then Lonesome Songs, the second record, he really got involved because I sent him my demos, and he's like, "Hey, this is great stuff, man. Let's uh let's do something together, just me and him, kind of." And we put it all together, and then the the whole formula and chemistry was great, and we used outside guys except Tigg. Tigg was always there. He played the drums and all that, most of it. So then, come this new record, I sent him 4 or 5 songs. I go, I'm ready to do another one. He heard him. He goes, "You've already beat your last one." I was like, "Cool, man." So then we even got tighter on our like connection, and ended up doing 6 times the charm. So yeah, he's a big part of it. He's just such a great dude. He lives close by. He totally gets my sound. We both had the same kind of like view on the direction and the sound and the production and keeping it real raw and real intimate and not overproduced. Real old school, and he's got that knack for capturing like great drum sounds, and just the mixes are so like what I wanted to hear, and like we just saw eye to eye, and it worked.
Hmm. Did he mix the record?
Yes.
Okay. And then are you involved in that? Do you go over there and mix with him?
Yeah, it's kind of like I track at my house most of the guitar stuff and the vocals, and then we do drums at Adams, and then he mixes, and then I go over there for his final mixes and make my notes. Like yeah, bring this down, bring that up, maybe add piano here, maybe add another guitar here. I come in with my whole little 2 cents about it, just to like bring it to like where I want to hear it. But for the most part, he mixes it. But I record it all, so I really know every detail of every part, especially the guitars. And like, so sometimes I'll be like, "I'll bring that one up. You're missing that one. Little stuff, but it's all pretty much there when I go over to his studio, and then me and him fine tune it."
Do you ever, when you're recording, do the song, any of the songs ever take a different, um, do, do they come across differently than you expected them to while you're recording?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you never know what you got till you put it on tape or put it on whatever computer.
Right? Computer reset.
uh, like I bang these songs together on an acoustic, and I demo them on my phone basically, and then once you start building the tracks with in the studio with track, and building additional tracks and vocals, and it takes on a whole different thing. And then like especially with vocals, so like when you sing a vocal, you have to find that character like that's going to work for the song. You don't even know what it is until you like put it up against your tracks, because like when you're singing it with your acoustic guitar, it's just, yeah, you got the idea. So the songs take on a whole different thing. And then like I like to really build the tracks with multiple guitar tracks, and I'll do basic acoustic track, then another acoustic, then two electrics, and then I like to like build this whole. That's the art of it. You're painting a picture, right? So they take a whole different direction.
Yeah. That's one thing I do like about your albums too, is I listen to them on these headphones and I can
Nice.
hear the pannings and all the
Yeah,
different
right.
things. And you guys do great at that. It's like
It's old
really
school.
stands
You got to
out.
put them in headphones, and that's the whole charm of like stereo mixing. Left, right. Most of the stuff is pan left, right. Like, and we really go after that old kind of '70s production where it's not all up the middle, blip, ripping your head off. Like modern music. I mean, it's like everything has its space, so you can hear all these different instruments going on, and that's what me and Adam basically go after.
Yeah. Well, you achieved it. You got it. You nailed
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this you released on your label again, right? You self-released
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Me and my wife have this little label, Knife Wounds Records. We put it out ourselves. Yeah, it's just
You still
super.
enjoy doing that rather than try to get someone to put it out.
Yeah, I probably could reach more people with a distribution deal or some kind of record label, but um, I like having it all in house, or we don't have to pay anybody out. Everything is straight profits to us. Like there's no investors, there's no anything. So everything we're making just comes right back to us. Um, it's not like we owe anybody. Like, if the record doesn't succeed, you owe somebody 10 grand, none of that. You don't make any money till you sell, 10,000 copies, none of that happens. So we keep it all in house. And it's, like I said, we probably could reach a lot more people if I had some kind of, label maybe, but yeah, it just hasn't ever panned out to work that way for us.
What's the plan for taking this on the road? Because I know you do some shows every now and then, but I don't, from what I remember, I don't think you've ever really gone out on the road and hit it hard. Are any
No,
plans
we
to do
haven't
that?
done any touring. We have no support. We have no tour support. There's no, so it's not really feasible for us to, we go out to Milwaukee, we go out to some like one-off shows here and there, but there's no like, um, there's no backing. Like we don't have money to do it. Really, to be honest. Like, and the guarantees these days, we're not going to hop in a van and go out there and like bust our chops for no money. We're just too old for that. Yeah.
21 anymore,
Yeah, we're
right?
not 21, and we all have like mouths to feed and bills to pay. So it's just not really feasible right now. And you know, there's not enough promotion behind us to even like pack clubs. I mean, we do okay on our little one-off shows we do out of town, but we're just kind of stuck with just staying home and playing local shows. I mean, it's the reality of it.
Sure. Yeah, it's hard to get out there these days. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
I
just not
see.
feasible. And it's like in the amount of work to do it and the strain on your physicals at our age, we're all like in our 60s, and to come home with like no money, like it's rock and roll fun camp is not worth it right now. Like we're just too old for that. So, like I said, we go out and do like some one-offs in different states here and there, but we're just kind of like, just doing local shows.
Hmm. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Well, you wouldn't be surprised, but I talk to a lot of bands, with the show, and I know a lot of
Yeah.
bands. And when they tell me about how the money they make on the road, you'd be like, I don't understand why you're doing it. You know,
Yeah, you don't make any. I mean, I don't know. Some bands do,
some
but
bands do. Yeah,
the guarantees are just, you know, and nowadays the tribute bands and the cover bands have taken over a lot of these like kind of smaller venues and clubs and bars. So they get more of a draw from those type of bands and an original act like us, who's, we're, we don't have no hit song out on the radio or anything. We're just like kind of an underground indie rock band, and it's like, it's just, they don't want to pay you the money. They don't want to pay you the guarantee. And then you got hotel fees, you got travel expenses, and you're away from your family and your home and a place you actually make money at. It's just tough to do.
Right, right.
I mean, we'd love to do it if it was like feasible. Most people that take us out are just super fans that love my music, and they go in out of pocket. They put money in to pay us what we want. They fly us out, and they lose money because the guarantee on the door is like, they get some back, but it's pretty much out of the love for the music.
How it seems like it's been pretty good. Have you been getting a lot of good feedback with that?
Great feedback. Yeah, really great. Like kind of shocking actually, like what people, I mean, they're getting it. They're getting the emotion. They're getting the storytelling. They're getting my sorrow when I've gone through with losing my daughter, um and they're getting the rock and roll about it all. There's some rockers on there. You listen to it.
Yeah, there's a couple.
It's been great. Like, I was a little hesitant. Like, how's this one going to go over? It's like so heavy and so deep and so um, emotional. But it's been nothing but great. I mean, there's been no negative comments at all. And you know, people that know my music have seen the evolution of it and know the style and know what I'm doing. And, they're like, "Well, this one's like you. This is your best one." So it's great. It's been great. I got my little cult following. My history with my old
Mhm.
band and this and that. But there's people that have really become Mark Nine, the Unsung Heroes. Followers and fans that have been waiting for this record. So they're happy. Everybody's happy, and it gives me a drive and want to put stuff out and keep being a creative artist. It's like it's great. It all works out. I'm not making a killing off of it. I'm not making a living off of it, but I'm being an artist, and people are enjoying what I'm doing, and I keep doing it, and that just keeps going.
Well, I think that's part of the appeal with your music is it's real. I mean, you're doing it what you want to do. It's not about making the money. You're putting your music out how you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it for I think the right reasons. Like it's not for anybody. It's not a. It's not some kind of business savvy plan to make a bunch of money off this. Former guy from somewhat popular band. Just do it my way. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've been doing for years. I've been doing it for 25 years, and like take it or leave it. I don't. It's just what I do. Like people, it's a hard road to take, and a lot of musicians probably just don't have the stamina for it. They're just like, I need to make I can't do it. It's not happening. You got to do it for the love of it. Like true artists just make art for themselves and for people, that give them some kind of feedback. I'm not saying I'm doing it just for myself, but it's definitely for people that I've seen appreciate what I do. So I want to make them happy. It may not be a lot of people, but it's enough. It's enough. It's not like I'm, you know, just doing it for myself and nobody's giving me any feedback and nobody's buying my CDs. Then I'd be like, well, this is kind of disappointing. You want to get some feedback.
Sure. But it's got to be different than say, I mean, you're at a different point in your life now than you were when Psycho Cafe came out, or even uh the second one.
Dancing on Coals.
Dancing on Coals, yeah. um right. So when you're writing songs for Dancing on Coals, there had to be some thought there of, well, I need to write something that's gonna be a hit. You had to have some of
Absolutely.
it, right?
There's a big machine behind that. We had a record company. We had a pretty successful first debut record. So, we were trying to, you're coming after your sophomore effort, they call it, your second record, and you're trying to like, you want to hit songs that are just as strong as someone like you are for a single. And you're going into writing, we wrote 50 songs for that Dancing on Coals. And, it's not just like, you just can't write, oh, this one's good, let's just put it out. That back then it was, plus there's so many people involved, and you know It's different. It was way different. And we were younger, we were touring rock band. We were all like dependent on the next record and the success of it.
I think some of my favorites were I got it right here, actually. If I can see it. I'm getting old, Mark. I liked Back Out on the Run.
Oh,
I like
nice.
that one.
Cool.
I like Someplace Better. I like my new favorite starting to be The Angels Cast a Light.
Nice.
I think I want to play that on my radio show Monday. I like that one.
Yeah, that's probably one of my faves too.
Is
We're
it?
actually doing that live now in the next show. That was like kind of a creeper because I thought it was just like one of my favorite songs, and it's starting to get like momentum. Like people are like, "Oh, I love that one." Yeah, but the other ones too that you mentioned are standouts. I don't know. They're all over 1111. People like it. There's not one song that hasn't gotten.
Stranger of the Night's a good one.
Yeah, that's like the European, like in Amazon in the UK, like featured that song. Like I don't know why. I guess it's got that kind of Euro vibe. I guess, but it's weird. Like it's everyone. Like there's not. Like I said, no song has not been like, oh, I really like that one. Like, oh, that's different. Like, so I don't know. Like, what's the song to like feature? It's always like, yeah. But Angels Cast a Light was like one of my favorites personally.
Was that one of the first earlier ones that you wrote, or one of the later ones?
That was probably later, towards the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. People can get this record at your website.
Yeah. Mark Knight and the Unsung Heroes. Go to the store and you can get it there. It's a CD. You can get signed CD. You can get merch, whatever you want, posters. All the other CDs too. What else we have on there?
Shirts.
We have
You got shirts.
We have hats. Yeah, we got a little merch booth.
Yeah.
That's where you go.
Awesome. You still riding your bike? I see on your posts.
Yeah, I've been mountain biking. I took that up a couple years back. Really enjoying that.
You haven't been falling off any trails or anything?
Do you mountain bike?
No, but I had a drummer that used to mountain bike, and he went off a couple bridges sometimes.
Yeah, it's not the safest sport, but I take it easy. I wear wrist guards, I wear gloves. I'm a guitar player. I can't like mess my wrist up. But the better you get, the more challenging you go after stuff. In those hills and mountains. But I always like check myself. Like I cannot fall. I cannot fall. So far, I've only had a couple little falls. Like nothing serious. But yeah. And I read about it all the time. People breaking their collarbones.
Yeah. How did Tigg do on his first ride? I saw
Tigg
that.
did great. Yeah, he never done it, and we took him out last weekend, and he was huffing and puffing, but like we got him up to this certain like plateau, and then I kept I'd go out ahead and I'd take a break and wait for him to come up, and then he'd get up there and I'd be like, "How you doing, man?" I go, "You want to go further?" And he's like, "I think I could do a little further." So we go a little further. Then we get this one section. I'm like, "All right, the next section is just mass uphill. You're done." I go, by the time we turn around, we get back to the truck. You got 8 miles. That's a great ride. He's like, "Okay, cool." And then then it's all downhill back. But he did really good. I think he really enjoyed it.
Well, that's all good for a drummer, right? It's stamina and works the legs.
Absolutely. I'm trying to get him to go again. I got 2 bikes now. I got a backup for him. So we'll see. He's kind of like, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't know when I'm going to do it again. Like I think he'll do it like again, but Tigg's not a very athletic type of guy, but it's great for a drummer. You're right.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, man. Well, listen, that great record again. I'm going to keep spinning it on my radio show. I do a radio show now. You got to check that out.
Yeah, I know. I did your ID for you, remember?
Oh, yeah, you did. You did. Not too long ago.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah. It's been a long day.
It's been a long summer. You got to get some more of your hot sauce in. Yeah.
You know what? I think I have 1 case left. I'm not going to make any more. So I'll get you some.
Best. It's so good.
I'll get you some more. I still
We
got your
loved it.
address. I think I'll get you some more.
Yeah, I'll send you a poster too. You want a
Yeah.
poster?
Yeah.
The
Give
new
me a
record?
poster.
Yeah.
I'll put it up here. I just moved into this. This is a closet, actually. I had to move out of my office that I was
Okay.
in. And
Got it.
now I'm in here. So I don't really have a lot hanging up yet. But yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, buddy.